As with last year's Red Riding Hood, this children's tale's been serioused up to show the darker, grittier, more realistic side of these events that never happened. Does your Snow White have too much Julia Roberts in it? Well, only a couple months after the release of Mirror Mirror comes Snow White and the Huntsman, and apparently a lot has happened since then.
If the poster looks like a Rorschach ink blot where things are kind of messy, and it sort of looks like something you might recognize, then you'll love the plot description. Adapted from the classic tale The Cliff Notes of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, this takes place in a fantasy Middle Ages where an evil queen, played by Charlize Theron, conquers all of fantasy Europe with an army of fantasy glitter men. With a vanity that would make Puff Daddy blush, she stays young-looking by literally sucking the life essence out of the younger and the more beautiful. Also, cucumbers under the eyes, I've heard. If she doesn't, she starts looking like this.
Then one day she consults the T-1000 about who's the fairest of them all. Turns out Snow White, played by everyone's favorite unhappy hottie, Kristen Stewart, is the fairest of them all. Snow White. Look, I don't want to inject myself into the debate here, but Pete down at Ruffalo's Pizza, he'll throw in a free 2-liter of soda for every pizza order over $15. That's pretty fair. Maybe not the fairest, but it's pretty fair.
Renaissance fair wet dream casting choice, Chris Hemsworth plays John Huntsman, hired to rip out Snow White's heart with his axe and bring it to the queen. Instead, he teaches her martial arts.
Kristen Stewart puts her mouth breathing to good use as a character who's constantly gasping for breath. And get ready to trust Dopey with a sword, because also returning are Grumpy, Sleepy, Dopey, Happy, Sneezy, Bashful, and Doc.
No, those aren't dwarves. Those are the names of the prescription drugs that supply Kristen Stewart the emotions she requires to make it through the day.
The dwarves in this adaptation are knights who will come to the aid of Snow White in the defense of her country against the evil queen. And in turn, Snow White will come to the aid of the dwarves when they need something off of the top shelf.
I think this whole movie was cooked up by teachers to bus kids who go to see the movie instead of read the book.